Stay tuned, because today we're breaking ground on the new barn. Hello, welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. This is going to be a multiple series in the Homestead Building Project series, and this particular one will be focusing on the barn. In today's episode, we're going to be focusing primarily on the substructure that supports the flooring along with the floor beams. So let's get started. Okay, once I collected all of the material that I need to construct the floor and base of the barn, I'm going to go ahead and assemble it, and do this first by squaring off the site on where I'm going to be attaching it. The next step I need to do is go ahead and dig the holes and set the 4x4 posts in place. I'm going to go ahead and dump dry cement in there with a little bit of water on the bottom, and then I'll go ahead and fill the hole up with water and dump dry cement in it, and it'll set and hold up rigid. I'm not going to trim these poles. We're going to leave them as is until we get a final build on the barn. Front posts, these are to hold the railing in place and also support the front part of the barn. These 4x4 posts, I'm going to be notching them to slide in the 4x6 inch 16-foot long beams. Then I'm going to countersink a hole using this bit, and then I'm going to tap a bigger hole inside of that hole, just a slightly bigger than this bolt. It's a lag bolt, and then I'm going to go ahead and finish it off with a little bit smaller bolt just to get it started, and then we're going to go ahead and use the crescent wrench and attach 2 bolts to each beam, and this will secure it in place. To attach the 4x6 foot, 16-foot long beams to the risers, or the footing supports that I have each cemented into the ground, I'm using this metal coupler strap cap thing to go ahead and secure this to the post, so this barn will not move during an earthquake. Now I'm going to put my floor joists in, but before that I'm going to go ahead and cut them to length to set between each beam. I'll put these hangers on, and once I've attached a hanger on each end of these joists, I'm going to go ahead and screw these joists in place. Now I'm measuring these joists out, and they're going to be spaced 16 inches on center across the front, or across the whole floor unit. The barn itself is going to be 12 foot by 12 foot, but I have a 4-foot deck, a 4-foot by 12-foot deck on the front. So this is going to accommodate exactly 6 sheets of plywood. Plywood I selected is this 1-inch tongue and groove plywood. That way I can lay all 6 sheets together and they will slide in to each other and hold each other and become a really nice stable support. I'm going to go ahead and screw these down. I'm placing my screws exactly 1 foot spacing throughout the whole flooring. Yay, last screw for the floor. Now I purchased this product. It's a flooring paint sealant for the floor. It's safe for livestock. So I'm going to go ahead and wash the floor off with water, let it dry, and then we're going to go ahead and roll this paint on. squeezing every last bit of paint I can out of that can. 1 gallon covered this whole 12 by 16 foot area. Okay, I built the stairs and put them in place. I just have to level the area out where the stair foot sets, and I'm going to lay in some cement there and make a cement pad. The stairs are 4 feet wide. I went ahead and bought the stair risers that were they were 2 pieces that were pre-cut, and I set them in 8.5 inches from each end and cut each 12 foot 2 by 6 board. I cut each one 4 feet long, so I had 3 total, and I got 3 pieces out of each, and the last piece I put on the bottom as a seal plate to be able to keep that up off the ground so it doesn't rot. So that concludes this part of a 5-part series in the Homestead building project series on rebuilding the barn. This is the episode where I focused on the foundation, squaring it up, and also the flooring. Now that we're completed with that, we're going to be going and continuing the next episode on walls. And then the 3rd episode will be on the roof and ceiling, and the 4th episode will be on all of the interior, and the 5th episode will be on connecting and installing the photovoltaic panels and the power system for the off-grid barn. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen, here at Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I want to thank you guys for coming in and joining me on this adventure of rebuilding the barn. Unfortunately, in this episode, none of the family members were available to help me with this portion of it. I didn't want any help with this portion of it because I wanted to make sure everything, the floor was square, it was level, because if the foundation isn't square and level, the rest of the building is going to be cockeyed. I don't want cockeyed, so I spent a week carefully doing the flooring. Stay tuned for more videos, and you could do that by subscribing if you haven't already. Please share my videos. Click that share button down below. That really helps us greatly. Also, you can follow me on social media. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, Reddit, Google+, and Blogger. Thank you for coming. Bye-bye. Check out these other videos on the barn fire and the barn cleanup. And then also this one I'll post down here, and that will be on part 2 of this series. And that will be building and installing the walls.